What up, y'all? This is Dre with Bill 206, Bill 206 Media. We're here today doing this show called The Collective Network, where we're sharing amazing Black folks in the community that are doing amazing things so people can tap in and learn a lot what's going on in the community. So today, I got one of the brothers that's been doing amazing work all over the place. His name is Curtis Calhoun. So I see him back in the studio. So I'm going to bring him on and have him join us, and we're going to get into this conversation. What's up, brother?
What up, Dre? How you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm trying to stay COVID free in a world full of COVID, man.
Oh, that's it. Anytime anybody asks me how I'm doing, I say we still got a job and I'm COVID free. So those are the kind of the benchmarks for today.
Right, for real, for real. How are you?
I'm good, man. Doing good.
All right, we appreciate you joining us and sharing some of the great things that you're tapped into, so people can tap into the things that you're doing. So we're just going to jump into the questions. The first question is really a softball question, for kind of just tell folks a little bit about tell folks a little bit about yourself. Just
Yeah.
whatever you want to share about yourself.
Okay. Lifelong Seattleite, born and raised here on North Beacon Hill. Married to a lovely woman. Have 5 kids, 10 grandkids. Uh, do community work and kind of started that work back in 2010. My brother and I, blood brother, started an organization, grassroots, called Brothers Building. And what we wanted to do as we got older and got into different systems and success systems and things like that, we wanted to be able to share some of that stuff because we realized we didn't get that at home growing up. So we wanted to share that with youth that were growing up in homes maybe that didn't have that. So we started doing events and got connected with Y King and Africa Town, and it kind of took off from there.
That's what's up. So that kind of segues into the next question about Brothers Building. I like that. I like that name. It's a dope name.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So tell us a little about the work that you are doing or have done, and can you talk a little bit about what you've done with your brother? But let's
Yep.
share kind of what you're tapped into now.
Yeah. So right now, from the Brothers Building thing, like I said, we had brought in authors, we had brought in filmmakers. We previewed One Brothers documentary called Ghetto Physics, E. Raymond Brown. We brought in a couple authors from Atlanta and New York and had them speak about success. It was called GPS to Success. From that, like I said, we met Y King. From there, we continued to do work with the Emoja Peace Center at the time, and then it kind of branched off to me eventually getting into a contract position with Africa Town Preservation and Development Association. So I'm a project manager there, but I'm also a community manager at the hub, business hub, which is called Black Dot there on 16th and Jackson. So we do work mainly around community engagement with the Emoja Festival. It takes place every year on the first weekend of August. So I've been a coordinator for that over the past probably 3 out of the last 4 years. I've been the lead project manager for that, doing work around all the community events we do with the logistics and things of that nature. And then Black Dot, we do a weekly mastermind group every Monday. We have for the last almost 2.5 years now. And that's intended to bring small business owners and micropreneurs, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs together to be able to network, to be able to provide access to resources, to be able to increase our business acumen, to make us better business people and be able to thrive, not just survive through COVID or the system that's kind of against us, but be able to thrive in that system and be able to grow and expand and be able to hire people from our community and branch out. So, and then we provide at Black Dot, it's a shared co-working space, but during COVID, we have not been able to do that. We're looking forward to getting back to that. They just kind of opened up the phase 3, I think earlier this week, either yesterday or the day before. So we're looking forward to having people back in the space and having it activated. From that, we offered shared co-working space. Like I said, we offer space rental for events or meetings. We have memberships for people who want to use the space to do work or things out of there. We offer copy and print service. We offer address usage and post office box service. And something new that we're offering is event promotion. So that's kind of what we've been doing here lately. And then on top of that, that's my 9 to 5, the day job. But then I'm also a performance enhancement coach. So what I do is I help busy professionals create pathways to success while maintaining healthy connections to the things that are important to them in life and business. Our 4 main result areas are mindset, behavior, performance, and then results. And it's all about getting results, just training our mind to be able to think in ways and create new habits and routines to be able to apply those and operate at our optimal level, and then being able to produce the results in life that we want to manifest our determined ideas.
That's what's up, man. You got a lot going on, man. So as you guys
Yeah.
see, the links to Africatown, Black Dot, and Brother Calhoun's website is in the description. So you guys make sure you guys tap into those and reach out and get connected and make things happen. So we're gonna transition a little bit to some personal kind of questions, like like just so folks can learn a little bit more about what makes us tick and how we're processing things. So
Yep.
I want to ask who or what inspires you and why.
Ooh, I have a lot of inspirations, but I would have to say my number one would be my grandmother on my paternal side, my father's mother. When I was very young, my mother was brutally murdered in front of me. I have no conscious memory of it because I was that young. It's just no conscious memory. But my grandmother, my father being like 19 or 20 at the time, wasn't prepared or equipped to be a single father and take care of me by itself. So my paternal grandparents took me and somewhat adopted me as their own. I became their youngest son at that point. And then my grandmother was just a person always there, kind of laying that foundation. She used to have something she called mother with. And I come to find out over time that means kind of like common sense, or just that basic foundation of intelligence that is important for life and success, right? So she's the one who put kind of the foundation in me for everything. So I like to say everything good in me comes from her, and everything bad was something I picked up on my own along the way, So, but yeah, she's definitely my greatest inspiration. But I was thinking about this even before we jumped on. It's just I've been blessed to have mentors and people in my life along the way to drop jewels and gems and pass on certain things that I've been able to, take and benefit from over time. I've always just had somebody there kind of to bless me in that way.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're picking up the torch with that, with the work that you're doing and being able to provide space. And what did Tupac say? I may not be the one who changed the world, but I'm going to spark the brain. And I think if we all embody that a little more, you just throw the pebble in the pond and watch the ripples just go.
Absolutely.
Plant those seeds. So yeah. I'm sorry to hear about your mother. That's even like I said, you may not have memories of it, but I'm sure there was an impact with that. So
absolutely, yeah. So a lot had to overcome and personal demons and then just trauma that had to overcome over time.
Yeah, and that's part of what we're trying to do with Build in general is just to provide safe space for Black folks, especially Black men and boys, to share things that we've been through.
Exactly.
And get things off our chest, but then also just to show, like, even sometimes people may perceive us as leaders, like we got all of our stuff together, but our lives ain't perfect. We got issues. We've been through stuff too. So I think it's also a way to just let people know, like, sometimes people think they got to have everything together before they get involved and start doing stuff, and that's not necessarily the case, So
that's funny you say that, because there's a post. I post something every day through social media, and that was the post yesterday. Imperfect action is better than no action at all, right? So we don't have to be perfect to get started to do something. We just got to get started.
I mean, you don't make no shots you don't take, right?
Exactly.
You don't make no shots you don't take. But I appreciate you just being open and vulnerable and sharing some of those things that, it just understanding that's part of things. Everything that's happened to you make you who you are now, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I know you're familiar with Black Stacks, right? The local, So one of their songs is, it has the lyrics in there. I wouldn't change a thing because that would change everything. Right. And I really have embodied that. I really like who I am today. I like who I'm growing to be. I like the trajectory I'm on. And if I had changed something in my past, I probably wouldn't be this person. Right. And so I'm happy with who I am and the direction I'm going. So all those things led to this.
Yeah. So that's real. This next question is, I say it's a loaded question because so much happened. So much has happened over the past year. So you can, and I know you're tapped in with a lot of different things, so you can answer wherever you see fit. But there's so much stuff that happened. But it's like, what do you think about everything that's going on in this time, like in this last year? Like, what do you think about everything that's been transpiring? Right.
Well, yeah. Where do I begin? So, like I said in the beginning with the coaching, right? It all starts with mindset and how we perceive things, how we frame things. Because there's a formula that I use: belief, thought, feeling, action, right? So based on what we believe, it's going to determine and dictate how we think, based on how we think, and what we think is going to determine the feelings we have. And based on those feelings, it's going to kind of direct or inform the actions that we take. So it's just really kind of wrapping your mind around it. You see a lot of people out there angry and frustrated. It's funny. There was a post on LinkedIn yesterday, and I responded to it. It had a picture of like the Disney princesses, and it had each princess and said, "Oh, well, because we're not a terrorist, because we're Muslim, we're not, a savage because we're a Native American, these things like this." But in every picture, they had the princess with like an angry look on her face, reinforcing that angry Black woman or angry BIPOC person, stereotype that they have. And it really took away from addressing the issue. And when I made a statement about that, I had quickly people jumping on and attacking my comment. And I was kind of surprised and shocked by that. And most of the people didn't look like me. They were other people, but had the nerve in the comment to call me brethren and saying, "How could you? I'm appalled. I'm angry." And it wasn't so much that, but we just have to be mindful that we control the narrative. Somebody else is controlling the narrative on that image where they have these angry looking women because they're Disney princesses. And then these words in big, bold letters, savage or, terrorist or whatever. So what you do is you associate with your mind these things, these people that look like this as those big words, So we just have to be mindful of how we let people control our narrative, how we move the narrative forward, and working together. Because I think in the Malcolm X speech, The Ballad or the Bullet, he talked about being able to put all of our differences, in the closet and putting those things aside, and being able to come together for that one common cause, which is Black liberation. And in the improvement of the quality of life that we live. And I think at this time, with all the organizations that are out there, I think everybody's doing great work. But sometimes I think we think we're the only ones that can do what we're set out to do. And we can partner with people and do a greater job and have more effectiveness and be able to leverage that collectiveness and unity.
Yeah, that's real. The socialization, what you talked about is socialization, right? The images, like we end up drinking the juice or living the lyrics or whatever you want to say,
exactly.
Right? And part of that is one of my elders, Larry Evans, says like we're American descendants of slaves, right, are the only folks on the world who don't really know their history, like where they're from. We say we're from Africa. Yeah. Africa is a continent with several countries that got different.
Absolutely.
You say people don't say I'm Asian; they say I'm Chinese, Vietnamese, and then there's certain cultures and things that could balance out. So they're listening to the same music. Watching the same movies and stuff that we do, but sometimes it doesn't have the impact because they got that balance, right? They got something like to snap them back. So that's real.
Well, they see it through a different lens because they have a standard or a set of standards based on their culture, which ours was taken away. So we pretty much adopted the standard or the culture that, from our oppressor or the person who set this system up in place against us.
Or the people, like you said, are feeding, which is the same oppressive. The people that are feeding us these images, right? It's a deeper level of impact because, it's crazy. So that was deep, just sharing what you're sharing, and then for people to jump on you and be like, "Hey, brother," and they ain't even,
and the first thing I said on the post was, I agree with the graphic. I agree with what it's saying, the message. But we have to be mindful, being in business and looking at marketing. I have a sales and marketing background from when I went to school. You have to be mindful of the image because the image is a lot stronger than the words. The words are small print, but the image stays in our head. We see things through pictures, and that's how we, our brain works is from pictures. When I tell you to think of a pink elephant, you don't think of PINKELE. You think of a pink elephant. So you think of the image. So we got to be very careful, with those graphics and the things that we share.
Yeah, and then you talked about collaboration and partnership a bit too, and we started our nonprofit in 2018. To get access to additional resources to do the work that we do. And really our focus is bringing people together, especially in the face of gentrification, spending time with each other, building relationships, as well as doing events and activities and stuff. But really the nexus is really to have safe spaces for Black folks to come together and share and grow and heal from some of the traumas that we've been through.
Absolutely.
But what I've noticed, there isn't really money to build partnerships and relationships. There's money where they want to know who you're partnering with, but there's not money for us to say, hey, Dre and Curtis are going to go get an Airbnb and spend a weekend together and break bread and get to know each other and learn each other's stories. There's not really resources to do those types of things. So when I'm talking to these funders, I'm like, why is that? A lot of the funding is really about, you've been in the game long enough. It's really about fixing broken people. And we're not the people aren't the problem. It's the systems that's the problem.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the
And
people
so,
aren't broken. It's the system that's working perfectly fine, fine tuned. That's breaking us up. Yeah.
right. So I just feel like if there's more resources or people, that are influential could start pushing the conversation with these funders and say, we need resources so we can put things on pause and not have to worry about everything around us and spend time with each other and build our relationships. That's the foundation.
Yes.
Then once we got equity in the relationship, then when something funky happens, because every relationship, funky things happen.
Always.
Now you got equity. Equity.
Yeah.
But right now, if we go in a partnership and something funky happens, now we're at a deficit. Now we're in debt, right? We don't have no equity in the relationship. So I've really been pushing that, with these funders, like, hey, man, we need some resources just to spend time with each other and build relationships, break bread, get some of our common language together, see where it's hard. Like, it's hard to even have capacity, as you be on the gas just trying to make things happen. So I appreciate you bringing up the fact around the partnerships and collaboration, because I do think, like we're doing, that's kind of what the show's about. Like, there's a lot of resources out here. It's just, how do we tap in and make them happen? So, and that kind of transitions us into, just with everything that's going on last year's crazy election cycle. I'm not even going to say the Black Lives Matter movement, because it's been a movement since we've been here, right? You know what I'm saying? It's the media. The civil rights movement was one thing, but we've been riding on these guys. There's been warriors and soldiers that have been pushing back, Black Panthers, all that stuff that's been doing it. It's just they get demonized through, which they even demonized what's happened the last year. So with that, this crazy ass administration that just went out, we got a new administration that ain't too much better for us, but it's better than what we've done.
That's another thing, right? I mean, you mentioned that, and I can't not say anything and just breeze past it. But it doesn't matter who's in office, right? The position is the position, and remember, America functions like a corporation. Their job is to make sure the corporation is successful,
right?
And they're not thinking about an individual group. And this is what we do when we go to the ballot box: is we take one issue as a human being. Personally, this is the issue that's important to me. Right. And as long as the person agrees with that issue, he got my vote or she got my vote. Right. Which it really can't be that way. It has to be comprehensive, and you have to look at everything that this person stands for and what they're going to do, and do your values align with their values.
Right.
Because that's the right candidate. And most times, they don't. But I mean, sometimes you got to, pick the lesser of two evils or do the best you can. I had somebody tell me a while back. He just votes on issues. He doesn't vote for the people, but if there's a bill or something coming up, he'll vote on that. But we got to get out of that mindset of, as long as this one thing I agree with you on, you got my vote. Yeah,
and like you said, people get tired of the lessons of two evils thing, right? We want why we got to take any evil, right? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But that's what it be. Yeah, it's and I mean, this with everything that the pandemic, this last year been, which segues us into our next question. And it's a real trendy thing right now, especially with a lot of communities, the self-care, how you taking care of yourself, those types of things, self-love, all that stuff. But, as far as Black folks, we may not engage in that as much, and especially as Black men, a lot of times, we don't necessarily talk. So I wanted to make sure I included that question in
That's great.
all the interviews that I'm doing. Just because I know me personally, I preach it, but I don't drink it like I should. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
The more I put it out there and talk about it, I started actually doing like push-ups and sit-ups every day, doing 30 minutes of coffee every day.
Good.
Still trying to really do it. So I guess what I want you to do is share some ways that you have taken care of yourself during this crazy time, or just in general. Like, what are things that you do?
Yeah, that's good, because that's something I ask people when I talk to them. As a coach, you're concerned about the people you talk to. So I ask them all the time, what are you doing for self-care? So for me, I generally try to get up in the morning somewhere around 6 o'clock. I go for a walk. It's usually 2+ miles, just in the neighborhood around the house. I do a lot where I try to put together what I call like an emotional toolkit, where there's certain types of music I enjoy listening to. There's certain types of movie I like to watch. There's certain comfort foods that I like to enjoy. And then I'm blessed, like I said, to have an amazing wife. So there's times when I'll get, into work, and I'll be at the computer 10, 12 hours a day, and she'll say, hey, come on, let's go for a walk, or let's do this, get outside, let's take a breath. So I have that person in the house, and she helps to remind me to take that self-care and allows me space to do that. But it's just doing those things you like and enjoy, being around people that you like, having a phone conversation with somebody you like. things like that. Those are the things I indulge in.
Yeah, that's what's up. And like I said, having that supportive partner is always,
Oh, huge,
always on point. So,
huge,
uh,
huge, huge.
what advice would you give someone looking to get into community work?
Ooh, it's not for the faint of heart. And I'm sure, as you and the brothers at Bill 206 know, yeah. And you catch it from both sides, and we love our people, and but sometimes they give you the business just like, the oppressors give you the business, or the colonizers, whatever term you want to use, the people in the system. So you have to be thick-skinned, have to really focus on your intention and what you're striving to do. It has to be more than about the people, because people will can let you down. People can, won't live up to your expectations. So it has to be about the change, the actual change that you want and are willing to make, and staying focused on that. In the coaching that I do, I have something called True North. And as long as you always stay focused on True North, you're okay. So any actions that take you toward True North, or the goal, or whatever you have set up there, is good. Anything that takes you away, you want to be mindful of that, and allow it, if it has to take you away, not take you too far away. But staying focused and having a true north, something that a cause or a reason beyond just the people that you're wanting to help or support or serve.
Right. Like Brother when the Malcolm X video said, this ain't no hustle, brother. Like,
Exactly.
that's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. People get in here thinking, oh, I'm going to get me this grant. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I found out real quick with that brothers building, we ain't going to make no money.
Yeah.
Working for the community. It's not about that. We have to make our money somewhere else and focus our 100% energy on doing what's right for our people in the community.
Right. What's right and what's righteous. That's what's up.
Indeed.
So, we got your contact info and stuff in the chat, but is there anything that you want to shout out, just verbally? So we know people take in information differently. So I don't know if there's any way folks can get in contact with you, social media or websites or anything.
Oh, yeah. On social media, so Instagram and Twitter. My personal account is Curtis C, CurtisScee. And then we have Curtis Calhoun LLC, which is more the coaching and business. On both of those, Twitter and Instagram. On Facebook, it's pretty much the same thing. You can catch me with those tags. And then the website, CurtisCalhoun.com. But yeah.
So yeah, make sure you guys check this brother out, man. He's doing amazing things in the community. And I got one more question for you, and it's really a question for me. So it's like, do you have any questions for me? I always, I want to make it equitable and make sure that you have any questions for me.
So that's a good question. First, I want to say thank you for having me on. It's a honor and humbles me for you to ask me to be on the show and feel that I have something of value to contribute. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the work that you and the other brothers at Bill 206 are doing. But my question for you is, personally, and as an advocate for Black Dot in Africatown, how can we best support what you guys are doing and make sure, the things that you're doing, we can, like I said, support in some sort of way?
Yeah, I think, personally, I think you do a lot of it. Like, you guys are already sharing a lot of the stuff that we're posting, and we try to share a lot of stuff that you guys are posting, King County Equity Now and Black Elephant Party a bunch. I think we're really good with, trying to make sure that is easy. And then, like I said, just, you got my number now locked in. Let's, stay tapped in, set up a time for us to go break bread. Just like I said, it's really about the relationships, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's a way. And then I think it's, looking at how we can collaborate and partner on events and activities. You guys got a lot going on over there. We're starting to build our capacity, and, and not only that, like, a lot of our members are tapped into different things. So it's like, how can we collaborate and share the resources once again? But I think, like, a lot of it comes down to the relationship. So I think, the first step is for us to say, hey, let's set up a time to go on a walk and talk and chop it up, or break bread, and just look at how we can make it happen. So I'm all for that, for sure.
We can hit the walk, and then we can go up to the communion, and then break bread there at the communion with Christy. Love that. It sounds like great.
We can schedule. I'm gonna hit you right after we're done with this. We'll lock something down. So
that sounds good.
Any other questions for me?
So I know a little bit of your story, but what prompted you to get into this community work?
What prompted me to get into community work is, I grew up in the South End, ripping and running. And a lot of the older, I didn't have a dad. My mom had 5 kids, raising 5 kids by herself, trying to go to school. And, and work and everything else that comes with being a single mother. And you know, I didn't have that many positive male role models. I had a lot of like big homies and stuff like that. But when you think about it, it's we thought they were looking up, but really they were, you know, putting me in traffic. They were having me do things that I thought was cool, but it really wasn't, right? And then I lost my brother when I was 23. You know, I just had bought my first house, and I lost my brother, and I, you know, gotten very depressed for like a year, and then I started like when I was like 24, I started volunteering, coaching at the community center, and then I started having time to like reflect on, you know, what was impactful in those programs like late night hang time, you know, those types of programs. And also I met a brother, Larry Evans, who Seattle Team for Youth was a program that my brother was a part of. So he had came by my mom's house to pay his condolences. And then me and him kind of latched up. Me, him, Aaron Counts, other folks are doing groups at the juvenile. And, you know, they wrote that book called Reclaiming Black Manhood. So we, you know, I got a couple quotes in there. We all kind of worked on a project with that. And then it just, you know, I got linked up with Mary Flowers and John Page, Village of Hope, People's Institute, you know, Black on Black Crime Prevention Coalition, White King, everybody, you know, just kind of, you know, it just been kind of nonstop. So it's like, and really what it is like when my brother died, I saw so much talent went to waste. And so it's like, I didn't really want that to continue to happen. So trying to work with these young folks, and then to seeing the voids, as I started working with them, I saw where the voids were. And then you look at like you pulling progress reports. You're like, all these guys are failing. Well, it's not their fault. It's the system's fault. Right? Really understanding what's really happening. That the system's, like you said, it's a well-oiled machine. It's working the way it's supposed to work. You know, and understanding like schools really childcare for working folks, right? It's not really about teaching you critical thinking or life skills or how to be successful. None of that. It's really childcare for working folks, and it's preparing you to be a working folk. It's not preparing you to be a boss or critical thinker or owner. It's preparing you. If you look at the structure of school, it's 2 hours recess, 2 hours lunch, 2 hours recess. Most work schedules are very similar: 2 hours break, 2 hours lunch, 2 hours break. So once I started really understanding that stuff, really trying to, you know, being able to navigate, and that's how I got really into it. That was a tragic situation that happened to me that, you know, kind of sidetracked me for a minute, and then, you know, it just kind of, I got exposed to more and more people. But I also am a strong believer, like you said, everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So trying to make the best of that situation. And when you're going through the storm, and even now, like I don't really know the reason, but, you know, I'm trying to make it. You know, that's the fuel to my fire. So it's like in me, not on me. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
So yeah, that's a little bit. I think as we spend time with each other and build relationships, we'll be able to learn a lot more about each other and grow and share and do some impactful work for sure. So that's the outcome of having relationships is, I'm on that. Let's do it, you know?
All right. Well, beyond the meal and the walk, I had something I want to offer you and all the brothers that build. There's a free assessment that I do. It's called the Welcome to the Jungle Behavior Assessment. Now, it's actually a DISC assessment, which stands for the 4 behavior types, dominant behavior types. And we lay this Welcome to the Jungle model over it. It takes about 15, 20 minutes to go through it. And then there's about a 45-minute to an hour debrief that goes along with it. I want to offer that to you and everybody at Build who would like to take it at no cost. 22 pages of information, you know, best work environment, what motivates you, your strengths, your areas of improvement. It's a full comprehensive assessment. And I think, you know, so anybody that you feel that could benefit from it, let them know it's a free assessment.
All right, that's what's up. I'm gonna tap in on that. I need to know all that stuff so I can be more oiled.
Yeah, I call it my user's manual or user's guide. You know, we don't come with that. So yeah, this really helps. Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, we appreciate your time. Like I said, I'm gonna tap in with you once we wrap this up so we can lock down a time to get together.
Sounds good.
Because that's the biggest priority in this work is getting to know each other, building those relationships. That's the pillar. So we appreciate your time, man. We'll be tapped in with you very soon.
Okay. Thank you again for having me. It's been an honor, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Peace. So once again, this is Dre with Build 206, Build 206 Media. As you saw, this brother's doing amazing work in the community. The other shows that we got, you know, in this series, the Collective Network, it shows the resiliency of the Black community. We got a lot of stuff going on. So make sure that you guys stay tapped in, you know, hit these guys up for resources. And if you guys have resources out there, reach out to us, build206.com, build206@gmail.com. All right, y'all. Peace.